Can anybody spot the huge mistake I make here? Stick around, I'm going to explain to you what I did wrong. I know this whole saddling thing is getting really old. I have multiple videos on my channel now of saddling 2-year-olds and long yearlings, but truly, if you want to cross all your T's and dot all your I's and fill any hole your horse might have, I have yet another way that I will prepare a horse to be saddled, especially one like Shooter who has a lot of self-preservation, maybe a little bit of trust issues. He's a little bit higher strung, and he's just not as easy to work through. He's not textbook. So right here, I'm just finishing up a groundwork session with him, and he's already been saddled and unsaddled multiple times here in the round pen. Now, I have not saddled him at the tie rail yet, and I know you guys have probably seen it. If you haven't, I'll link it in the description box. There was another colt that I started last year that I was able to just throw the saddle up on right at the tie rail, and we went on like he'd been doing it his whole life. It's not so easy with a horse like Shooter, so what do? You break it down into teeny tiny steps to get through to horses like this and to improve your relationship and make sure they are solid and really comfortable and accepting the whole being saddled part, because, you know, we're just getting started with this relationship with him. We could screw it up really bad if we scare him at the tie rail. You know, not only would he possibly sit back, but he would never trust us again to put the saddle back on, and it would take a really long time to develop his trust again, just putting a saddle on in the round pen if we screw it up at the tie rail. So we've had several sessions now where I've worked him in the round pen and I've removed the saddle in the round pen, and then I've also had sessions where I've taken him over to the tie rail and untacked him there at the tie rail. So he's used to this part already. Now I've got him tied and I go to start to remove his equipment, and I got complacent and I make a crucial error here while removing his equipment. Now, can you guys spot what happened here? I started to undo his front cinch before removing his breast collar. Let's watch this again. When you untack a horse, you undo the back cinch, you undo your breast collar, and then you undo your front cinch. And this is a critical error. If this horse wasn't used to being untacked, or if there was a spook, I could have the saddle twist, slide off to the side of him, and spook him really, really bad. And again, we could get a huge sit back. He could get hurt. It could trash the heck out of the saddle. You know, it was just an oversight. It was just an error. You get comfortable. You get to where you're going through the motions and you're not paying attention. And thankfully, Shooter is forgiving enough that it was no big deal to him. You know, obviously, I've crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's on this part, right? But, you know, in the future, you know, I have to pay more attention as I'm removing all of his equipment, because that could have been a catastrophic error. So now I'm going to pull this saddle off and I'm going to throw it right back up on him. So I'm going to prepare by untying him here and just have a loop on that rail there. So he kind of still thinks he's tied, but I'm going to throw it back up on there just like I was doing in the round pen. So same old thing I'd been doing in the round pen. Remove the saddle, put it right back on again. Remove the saddle, put it right back on again, just like you guys saw me do in the previous video. And just same old thing. We just add one little teeny thing at a time to every little session that we have. Shooter prefers really short sessions. That's about what his attention span allows for, and his patience and what he's accepting of me. So I try to keep his sessions really, really short and add one little teeny thing at a time. Okay, the next time I saddle him, I'm going to approach him walking towards him from the tack room, like I just pulled the saddle out of the tack room and I'm coming over to throw it up on him. This creates more pressure, okay? This creates a little bit of anxiety. Have you guys ever been in a hurry trying to saddle your horse and they feed off of that pressure and they get scared, and sometimes their head and neck goes up and they get worried, and sometimes they sit back. Well, I'm going to address all of those sorts of issues right here and now. And look at this colt. He's got a leg cocked. He is totally okay with everything that I'm doing to him right now. And, you know, these are just little teeny things that you need to recognize as you're working on saddling. And if your horse shows a problem, take them backwards, take them a step backwards, go back to the round pen and make sure they're confident in there before you try to improve and go to the next step here at the tie rail. He still has that leg cocked. He's wanting to lower his neck and head for me a couple of times, and I didn't notice that the first time around when I watched these videos back when I first started editing this. And, you know, saddling him up on the right side, getting him used to that, just in case somewhere down the line, if I have a problem with an arm or with a hip or a leg and I can't saddle him from his left side, I want to make sure I can saddle him from the right side at the tie rail. So I'm going to go through the entire process over here on the right. Breaking everything down into tiny little steps in short sessions is really going to ensure that he understands and accepts and he's confident with all of the different things that I'm asking of him right now. And this is truly going to get him really, really broke and really safe to be around. And that's what's most important to me, that he understands everything that I'm doing and what is acceptable behavior on his behalf. I go ahead and cinch him up all the way this time. I connect my back cinch and my breast collar because I'm going to take him for a walk and make sure he's cooled out properly. I sure appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for spending your time with me, and I sure hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope this helps you out a lot.